All right, guys, we are here for exam 12 on surface area. Just know for tomorrow's exam, you're going to be getting all of the formulas. But as we saw with the volume test, sometimes that doesn't help if you don't know how to use them. But they're all going to be given to you kind of like in the toolbox like they were last exam. So they're here for you and we're ready to go. You're going to need to find lateral area and surface area for everything on your exam. Anything that has a circle on it, you are going to need to do an approximate and leave it in pi. So just be prepared for that. Your units are going to count for everything. So anytime we're talking about surface area and lateral area, remember your units are squared. So whatever your units are squared. All right, cubes, super easy. All right, lateral area is just all the sides. Surface area includes the top and the bottom. I kind of like to just work them both at the same time. And the formula that I like to use, if you weren't taught the formulas, it's not a big deal. Do it however you were taught. But for mine, I like to go 2 times the area of the base. And the reason I do that is because I have a base here and a base here. So I have 2 of those. And in this case, my base is a cube. So it's just length. Oh, I should do that, big L, times width. The perimeter is this guy. And then my height. So that guy is perimeter. And this guy right here is height. Now, because it's a cube, everything's the same. Everything's super easy. So you can just multiply 3 a bunch of times and you'll be good to go. But let's do this way. All right, so I will fill in which one it is at the end. Let's go 2 times the bases. Length times width, everything is going to be 3, 3, 3, 3. Everything's 3. So I've got 3 times 3, which is 9, times 2, which is 18. So my bases are going to be 18. Let's do the perimeter. To find the perimeter, remember you add up all the sides. So I have 4 sides. I have 3, 6, 9, 12. So this is going to be plus 12 times the height, which is 3. You're going to be given calculators again on your exam, so you don't need to worry about things like pi. You can plug all this stuff into your calculator, whatever you need to do. 12 times 3 is 36, right? So I've got 18 plus 36 is going to give me 54. Now, what did I just find? 54. I found my bases and my sides. So my surface area is 54 centimeters squared. That's what I found there. My lateral area is just this guy right here. So he's 36. My lateral area is going to be 36 centimeters squared. A lot of you guys lost a lot of points last week when I was speaking with the other math teachers. We had a very common error with you guys not putting in your units. Okay, so a problem like this is going to be worth 3 points. You'll have a point for the lateral area, a point for the surface area, and a half a point for each one for making sure your units are correct. So don't lose a point just on your units. And that being said, get a free point just for putting in whatever number plus your units so that you can at least show that you understand the unit part of it. All right, let's do a cylinder. A cylinder. So the formula I like to use for cylinder is 2 times the base plus the circumference times the height. All right, again, I know not everybody learned it like that. So we're going to go 2 pi r squared. Remember the big B is the area of the base. That's my area to find a circle. Plus circumference. Don't freak out. We won't even write it like that on the test. You will get the full formula, which is 2 pi r times the height. So this guy right here is circumference. Again, that's going to be given to you. Other thing you need here, you're given the diameter. You need the radius. So the radius is always half of the diameter. So if the diameter is 12, the radius from the middle to the end is going to be half of that, which is 6. All right, so here we go. We have 6, we have our radius, we have our height. Radius, radius, height. We have everything we need to do this problem. All you got to do plug it in. So let's start here. All right, this guy right here again, let me stick with the green. This guy right here, that's just my lateral area by itself. Together, they're my surface area. So here we go. 2 pi 6 squared. Okay, let's just work this side. That's going to be 36. Again, remember when something's squared, it's 6 times 6. It's not 6 times 2. We had a lot of issues with this as well. So I'm going to get 2 times 36. But don't forget your pi. We had a lot of people forgetting their pi's as well. So I get 72 pi. All right, all I found right now is the area of my bases. Let's do this part. 2 pi rh, so that is 2 times pi times the radius, which is 6, times the height, which is 15. And then you just multiply them all together. So I've got 2 times 6, that's 9. 2 times 6 times 15, it's going to give me 180 pi. All right, 180 pi. So my lateral area with pi is 180 pi centimeters squared. My lateral area approximate means I'm just plugging in the numbers for pi. All right, on this calculator, you have a pi button. If you don't, your teacher will tell you how many digits of pi they want you to approximate. For a lot of them, it's just going to be use 3.14, 3.14159. It'll tell you on your exam how much they want you to approximate it by if you're not using a calculator like this that has the pi button. So I've got 180 times pi, which is going to give me 565.48. We are going to round to the nearest hundredth, so you're going to bump that guy up. So my approximate lateral area is going to be 565.49 centimeters squared. Surface area, I'm just going to add those two together. So for my surface area, it's this plus this, and there's my surface area. So let's add that together with pi. I am going to get 180 plus 72. It's going to give me 252. So my surface area, 252 centimeters squared, if you leave it in terms of pi. Multiply it out, times pi, round to the nearest hundredth. I get, let me go this way so you guys can see it. Sorry, 791.68 centimeters squared. So there's that. Pyramids. For pyramids, you are only going to have to do a square pyramid. All right, a square base pyramid, I should say. So you're not going to have to do anything difficult. It's only going to be the square. So the pyramid formula that I like to use is, again, there's that big B, which is your area of the base, plus 1/2 the perimeter times the cursive lowercase l. And that guy right there is slant height. And slant height is, if you were to put this on the side of here, that would be your slant height. It is not this. So this right here, I'm going to do this in green. This guy right here, that's your height. The one coming down the side is your slant height. All right, area of the base. In this case, my base is a square. So my area is length times width. Because it's a square, all the sides are the same. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 all around. Length times width, 36 inches squared for this part. I'm going to add it to half of the perimeter. So I've got 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is going to give me 24 times the slant height, 8. And then because you're given a calculator, it's not going to matter how ugly or big these numbers get. And it doesn't matter what order you multiply them in. So you've got 24 times 8 equals 192. and then you want to divide that by 2. It's going to give me 96. Okay, so I've got 36, and then I've got 96. This guy right here, got him right here. That's my lateral area. So lateral area, again, all these sides don't include the base. So my lateral area is 96 inches squared. My surface area, add these guys together, 96 plus 36, 132. 132 inches squared. Okay, a good way to think about this is if you're not sure, if you can't remember the formulas, if they're there and you still can't remember, just remember anything with pi in it has to have some kind of circle in it somewhere. So it's going to be a cylinder, a cone, a sphere. Anything with pi has to have a circle in it. Okay? Anything with like this one with a half, think about it because these sides are triangles. If I were to break these apart, I would have 4 triangles. And how are you finding areas of a triangle? Well, 1/2 the base times the height. So kind of think of it in terms of that. I think that you should be able to kind of rationalize your way through the formulas to help yourselves out. All right, so we've got 3 of the shapes that are going to be on the test: a cube, a cylinder, a square pyramid. The other 2 shapes that are going to be on the test, we've got a cone and a sphere. Cone and a sphere. So for the cone, all right, for the cone, this one I made a little bit more difficult. I didn't give you the slant height so that we're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. If you have to do this on your test tomorrow, just know we were going to give you only special right triangles, or not special right triangles. We're only going to give you Pythagorean triples. So think about it in that way. So remember your Pythagorean triples. We've got 3, 4, 5 triangles or any variation of those, 5, 12, 13 triangles. It really behooves you to know those, and those take you all the way back to, I don't know, exam 7, 8, 9, 10, all of them, where we went over Pythagorean theorem and triangle stuff. So for a cylinder, for a cone, we have the big B again. That's the area of the base. So pi r squared plus pi r L. And remember, this guy right here is slant height. So here's the deal with this guy. You weren't given the slant height. That's the slant height right there in green. I was only given the actual height right here. Long way. Use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Do you guys see the big triangle right here? If I were to do that right there in pink, there's my right triangle. A squared, B squared, C squared. I'm looking for my hypotenuse. If you see it right away, good for you. If not, do what you need to do. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay? 6 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. Again, remember, it doesn't matter which way we do this. 36 plus 64 equals C squared. 100 equals C squared. Take the square root of both sides. C equals 10. So my slant height right here is 10. You could have saved yourself an extra step if you could just see 6, 8, 10 is a variation of my 3, 4, 5 triangle. So do yourselves a favor. If you have to find the slant height, just think about what your Pythagorean triples are and go from there. It's going to be so much easier if you remember the Pythagorean triple. All right. So my slant height's 10. I have my radius down here. It's 6. Those are the only things I need. I need pi, which the calculator will give me, radius, which I have is 6, slant height 10. Have at it. Plug in. So I've got pi times 6 squared gives me 36 pi. I just found the area of the base. Now before, remember, we were going 2 times the base. If you remember for like the cylinder here, that's because we have a bottom and a top. This one, we only have bottom. All right, plus pi times 6 times 10, radius slant height. So I've got plus 60 pi. Lateral area right here. Lateral area right there. So leave it in terms of pi. I've got 60 inches squared. Don't forget your units. Lateral area, pi approximate, 60 times pi, which gives me 188.5 inches squared. Surface area, add them up. So this surface area with pi, 96 inches squared. Approximate 96 times pi is going to give me 301.59 inches squared. Okay, so you're going to have one of each of these on the test. It's going to look a lot like your volume test. It's going to have the same shapes on there. It's going to probably have even a lot of the similar numbers. So it's same thing. We're just finding surface area and lateral area. All right. Last shape that you need to know, the sphere. Your surface area, you can't find a lateral area for a sphere. So you're only finding surface area for a sphere. And your formula is 4 pi r squared. For the surface area, we can leave it in terms of pi and we can do an approximate. So let's do both. All I need is my radius. I've given my diameter. That's what the D is. It's whole thing right here. I only need half of that. My radius is from the center to any given side, and that's going to be 9 feet. Don't forget your units. So here we go. 4 pi 9 squared. 4 pi times 81. Right? Don't want to do that in your head. Don't even want to do the math on it. 81 times 4. It's me 324. Oh my goodness, 324 pi. There's my answer with pi. 324 pi feet squared. I need an approximate, multiply it by pi, and I get 1017.88 feet squared. Anytime you're doing area again, it's always feet squared. All right. There are word problems on your exam tomorrow. We're going to get to those right now. But these are the only 5 shapes you're expected to know for your exam tomorrow. The other one would be, we kind of use a cube and a rectangular prism interchangeably with the formulas are going to be the same. So if it's a cube, obviously it's just 6 times that. If it's a rectangular prism, which we're going to get to in the word problems, you're going to do the same type of thing. All right, so I put on 3 word problems here. I think you have 3 word problems on your exam tomorrow. Always important to draw and label a diagram. You're going to get points just for drawing and labeling your diagram correctly. So Mr. Vell made a cylindrical coffee cup. Good for me. More like I drank a coffee cup, or I drank the whole thing of coffee, but I'm going to make a coffee cup. And it's going to be in the shape of a cylinder, which looks like that. My height is 5 inches. My diameter is 4. Okay, diameter is equal to 4. Now, whenever I'm doing a cylinder, remember I need to have the radius. Okay, so let's look at this. How much material does she need to make her coffee cup? So there's the first part. There's part 1. How much material do I need to make a coffee cup? All right, well, we need to think about this. How to do the lateral area for the cube. I'll go back. Okay, let me finish the cylinder and I'll show you how to do the lateral area for a cube again. All right, for this one, I need the radius. My radius is half of the diameter. My radius is 2. My height is 5. You're going to be given the formulas. So here's what your formula for a cylinder is going to look like. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. Here's the tricky part to this. I'm making a cup, all right? Which means I don't have a second base here. There's nothing on top of it. It's not a can. I need to be able to pour something in it. This is open. So I only need one base. I don't need two. Otherwise, I can't even get coffee in that coffee cup. So this two right here, I don't need because I'm only going to use one base. All right. So I'm going to get rid of that. And this is my formula for figuring it out. So yeah, it's the lateral area plus one base. It's the surface area minus a base. So here we go. Pi r squared. My radius is 2. That is 4 pi plus, that's a 2 and that's a 5. So I have 2 times 2 is 4 times 5 is 20 plus 20 pi. So my answer is 24 pi inches squared. That's how much material I need to make my coffee cup. All right. If you need to solve with pi times pi, and there you go. So I need 75 point, what's that going to make that? 40 cubic inches of whatever I'm going to use to make my coffee cup. So there's my first question. These answers right there. The second question, how much coffee will the cup hold? So I threw this in here because I wanted you guys to practice with volume in a word problem setting. So how much coffee will the cup hold? We're going back to volume. We're going back to volume of a cylinder. Again, these formulas will all be on your test. Anything that you need will be on the test. So let's do the volume of a cylinder. All right. The volume of a cylinder is the area of the base times the height. So volume, I'll do it up here. Volume is pi r squared times the height. Remember, anytime you're going to have any kind of circles, you need to make sure you have pi somewhere in your answer. Okay, so I have my radius, I have my height. So I have pi times 2 squared times 5, which gives me 20 pi. So 20 pi is my volume. That would be in inches cubed. Remember, anytime you do volume, inches cubed. Okay, had to multiply that out. 20 times pi is going to give me 62.83 cubic inches. That's how much coffee my little coffee cup will hold. All right, let's do this next one. We have Ella needs to paint the top and the sides of a rectangular prism. The prism has a length of 25. Let's draw the picture here. So let's just draw this real quick. Rectangular prism. Okay. I have a length of 25, a width of 15, and a height of 9. Okay. How much paint does she need to cover the top and the sides? Top and the sides. So I'm not doing the bottom. So I'm minus one of the bases. So if I go back to how I find surface area of my rectangular prisms or my cubes, my original formula was 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. Again, I'm not going to paint the bottom, so I'm going to get rid of one of those. So I just need the area of the base. In this case, it's going to be length times width because it's a rectangle. So let's do that. I have 25 times 15, which gives me 375. So I have 375 for this part, plus the perimeter. All right, remember perimeter, you're going to add up all the sides. Here's my base. I have 25, 15. It's a rectangular prism, so opposite sides are congruent. I add all those up to get my perimeter. So that's going to give me 25 plus 25 plus 15 plus 15, which gets me 80, times my height, which is 9, 720. All right, I'm going to add those together. and I'm going to get 1,095 millimeters squared. That's how much paint she needs. Okay. Again, if she wanted to paint the bottom, we would have left the 2 here. If she only wanted to paint the sides, we would just get rid of that part. So to answer your question, if you just want the lateral area, you're just doing the perimeter times the height. That's the 4 sides. All right, last one. A swimming pool is, we got another rectangular prism here. I'll do it this way right now. Okay, sorry, my picture. All right, so we've got 8 meters by 6 meters by 1.5 meters deep. The water-resistant paint needed for the pool costs $6 per square meter. How much will it cost to paint the interior of the pool? All right, so before we even get to that, we need to figure out how many meters we need to paint. All right. Again, rectangular prism. There's my formula, but I'm not painting the top of the pool. There's water in the top of the pool, so I'm only painting 4 sides and the bottom, so I can get rid of that base. All right, let's do the area of the base. That's length times width, which is 8 times 6, 48 meters squared. Okay, that's just the base. Perimeter times the height. Let's take my base again. I have 8, 6. That means this side has to be 8 and 6, or it wouldn't be a rectangle. Okay, and you can, again, you're given calculators, so however you're comfortable with this. So you've got 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8, which is going to give you 28. So I've got 28 times 1.5, which is going to give me 42 meters squared. I add all those together. So 42 plus 48 has me 90 meters squared. All right, that's not what it asked me at all. Okay, it didn't ask me how many meters I needed. Okay, it asked me how much the paint is going to cost. And they told me that it's going to cost $6 per square meter, and I have 90 of them. So I'm going to take my 90 and multiply it by 6. So 90 times 6 is going to give me 540. It's going to cost me $540 to paint the inside of the pool. Okay, be very careful as to what they're asking. B, how much water can the pool hold? Okay, that's a volume question. They want to know how much you can put in there. Okay, I want to fill up my pool with water. So to do that, you remember you're going length times width times height. Rectangular prisms for volume, super easy. I know another way they did it is the area of the base times the height, but that's really just length times width times height. So we've got, for volume, we've got 8 times 6 times 1.5. Sorry, my 5 looks bad. 8 times 6 times 1.5. 72. Okay, if you don't like it like that, 8 times 6 equals that, times 1.5. Either way, 72. 72 meters cubed. Remember, volume always has cubic meters. Okay, so that's it for your test tomorrow. Couple volume questions, all surface and lateral area. Your major shapes are going to be a sphere, a cone, a cube, or a rectangular prism. Okay, a cylinder, and a square-based pyramid. Okay, and that's it for your test. Any questions? Anything you want me to go over again? Let me do anything else? How many problems on the test? So let's see. You've got one of each of these. So those 5 at least. I think there are 3 word problems. So those ones, there's an extra credit problem. If you guys want to study it tonight, it's on the extra credit problem is the surface area of a triangular prism. Give you guys a little cheat on that. So the extra credit, which I'm not going to go over with you, but basically you're going to get a triangular prism, and you're going to need to let me do it this way. Okay, so where your base is a triangle in front, and you'll have to calculate the surface area of that. That's the extra credit. So if you want to study that, you can do that, but I'm not helping you with that tonight because that's extra for those of you guys that are extra. All right. So to answer your question, what was that? I think we had 5, 6 for the extra credit, 7, 8, 9 on the word problems, maybe a couple volumes, 11. So I would say 11 or 12 problems max on the test. Okay, so 11 or 12 problems max on the test. If you are in my class, and even if you're in the other classes, that's fine too. I forgot to tell my class to retake the test. So we are doing the volume retake in room 110 during period 4 or after school tomorrow. Okay, I'll be at school till 5 p.m. So anytime up until 5, we're going to do the volume retake. So whatever you want to do for that. All right. Any other questions? You guys good? All right. Remember, there's always tutoring in the morning with Mr. Finch super early. I know Mr. David sometimes gets there early, but I know Finch is there super early. Not a problem. He's in 107. If you have geometry again, 3rd or 4th period, come see me at lunch, and I'd be more than happy to help you out with last minute studying. All right. Good night, guys.